All right, now we're dealing with part 2 of Build a Riff. And here's how it goes. I'm going to review. So far, the band's up and playing this. Maybe some kids are playing it as single notes. If they're beginners, they'll be playing single notes on their E string. If they can play power chords, great. If you have keyboards just playing single notes, that's awesome. If you can have them at least play dyads, that's nice as well. Okay, if it's very junior rockersy, but you're building this by they're using their ears. You're creating it. They're using their ears to figure it out. Part 2, we're going to add chord changes to the riff. The objective of this section is to create a simple chord pattern to transition to after playing the riff. So they establish the riff. Now you're going to transition into some chords. Once the chord pattern is established, the band can transition back and forth between the riff and the chords. So you're going to play a new note in the scale. So in this example, it's going to be B. So here's the riff. And you're going to say, guys, here's our new note. This new note we haven't heard yet. And you're going to ask the band, does this note sound higher or lower than the other notes? It's higher, by the way. I'm a huge, huge fan of constantly asking questions. When I unveil new information, I follow it with a question. Perhaps the question is simply asking them to repeat what I just said. So for example, if I said, the name of this new note is B. What's the name of the new note? Good, it's B. Keeps them on their toes, keeps them engaged, keeps them listening. In this case, I said, hey, does this note sound higher or lower? They say it sounds higher. And then it also says here, feel free to use to start this new section on a note you already used. And it's a trick question when you say, does this note sound higher or lower than the other notes? Because it just so happens to be one of the notes that they've already heard. But in this case, we're going up the scale to B. And then ask the group for a volunteer to figure out what the new note is by ear. So I need a volunteer. You got this. There's the new note. Who's going to try to find that note? And again, you're covering your guitar neck with the music stand so they can't see. You're going to ask Peter. No one's named Peter anymore. Peter's going to go and look for that new note. So Peter goes and he finds that new note. And then you say, Peter, you know the name of that note? He doesn't know the name of that note. That note is called B. B is the 7th fret. Hey, who can tell me what's the name of the 7th fret? That's B. Who can tell me what's the name of the note on the 3rd fret? Good, G. What's the name of the 5th fret? So now I'm reviewing everything they've learned. I'm throwing out these questions, kind of rapid fire questions that people are paying attention. Okay, now, and now what I'm going to do is number 5. It says, play a major and minor chord based on this note, on this new note. Ask the band which chord sounds better. And then use whatever chord value they choose, even if it's harmonically inconsistent with the key of the riff. Continue playing with the incorrect chord value. Give the group time to see if someone notices the odd sounding chord, or maybe it sounds kind of cool. Eventually let them know that one of the chords is out of key. And if no one seems to notice that there's a weird sounding chord, let them listen to you play the riff and the chords to see if they can identify the incorrect chord. Don't change the chord if they think it sounds fine. Play for them the harmonically correct chord and let them choose. So for example, here's the riff. Now we're going to go to B. Guys, which one sounds better? That's B major? Or what about B minor? Which one do you like? Here's minor. Okay, here's major. Actually, either sounds pretty cool. They say major, great. You're going to go with major. Again, whatever they say, just go with it. Now you're going to play the chord with a rhythmic pattern. So here I've got, and then I would quickly, you want to get everybody up and playing. So you want to get the whole band up and playing that beat, and you get the drums in. And you tell them, guys, we're going to play this or loop this 4 times, 8 times. Let them know what to expect. It can create anxiety if you just kind of count them into it and they start vamping on it and they're kind of going, oh, he's going to stop us at any moment. If they know, oh, he said we're going to play this measure 8 times, I can relax a little bit. And I like to maybe count it out, for them too. Count out the measures just so they know what to expect. Because no one wants to be that lone kid still playing after you cut off the playing. Okay, number 7, ask the group or a volunteer. Okay, we already did 7. Number 8, have a drummer play the beat that fits with the new rhythm. We kind of already did this already because we brought the whole band in. Number 9, add a new chord and rhythm. So in this example, we're going to bring in A. Then play each chord, minor and major, and ask the students which chords seems to fit the tonality of the music better. Now look, this is assuming that you got kids that are really behaving and listening. If they're not behaving, then skip this whole idea of asking them which chord sounds best. Okay, so far they've said that, they like that B major. Now you're going to say, guys, I'm going to add a new chord. Does that new chord, does it sound like it's going higher in sound or lower? Here's B. Higher or lower? Somebody hopefully says lower. Great. I want someone to go find that new note. And they realize they find that it's A. And you make sure that everyone's clear on the name of the note because it's on the 5th fret. And then you have them all jam on that. And loop it up. And then you say to them, okay, now I'm going to add a new chord. Does this chord sound like it's going higher in sound or lower in sound? Here's B, A. Does that new note sound like it's going higher or lower? Lower. Well, they've already played that new note. That note's G. You ask someone to go find it. They find it, and then you get the whole band up on its feet playing that. Do it again. And you have them loop it up, and everyone has a good time playing along. Now, the next part, the most challenging part, is you're gonna go back to the riff and have them play the riff. And then you're gonna have them review these chord changes, and then you're gonna try to piece them together. You've created all of this, but they're using their ears to figure it out, and then you're gonna try to piece it together. And this could be a pretty long. This could take maybe 30 to 45 minutes. They could, you might not be able to do this all in one workshop session. But here's what the whole thing sounds like, because I know you're all dying to know what it all sounds like. And have them do it a few times. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if I'm playing it right. No, it's... And then... Right? It sounds like a Junior Rockers song. you really have to let them kind of vamp on each section for a while. They're going to trip and stumble during those transitions, but they'll eventually get it. Okay, here's part 3. It's optional, where you expand the riff, where you add a new idea into that last measure of the riff. So, for example, that riff is what? It's 4 measures long. So, in the 4th measure, to introduce a new idea. So, for example, ah. Right? So, just kind of added that little thing in there. Another thing you can do is, it says in part 4, improvisation. Assign each person a series of notes to improvise with in the last measure. So, yeah. No, it says assign each person a series of notes to improvise with. In this example, it would be E minor pentatonic. That would be an ideal scale to improvise with. And then choose a small section from the scale to improvise with. Yeah, so really what it's saying is you would just give a kid a few notes from the E minor pentatonic scale to improvise with as the band's, playing over that riff. Again, that's right out of the Junior Rockers playbook. So this completes part 2 of Build a Riff.